Hi, this is Dan for Tech Digest and Shiny Shiny, and I've been looking at the Nikon D90 digital SLR camera. It's the upgrade from the D80, and it's the new flagship model that Nikon have got. It's got a 12.3 megapixel sensor. It takes raw footage if you want to, or JPEGs, or whatever you choose. You can do all sorts of retouching in camera as well, but of course I think you might prefer to do that on your own computer screen, as I did as well. The viewfinder is slightly improved. You get a 96% coverage instead of the 95 in the D80. It all counts, I guess, when you're getting towards 100. And of course it has got a bigger 3-inch TFT LCD display on the back, which you can use in live view mode as well, and you also get all sorts of face detection and contrast detection in with that too. It's got GPS, which you can turn on and off and use to, so it won't take up too much power as well. You can get it to reset where you are maybe every 5 minutes when you turn the camera on and then turn itself off again. So like I say, it doesn't really chew through your battery life. The battery itself lasts very well, but the main thing about this camera is that it takes HD video at 720p and 24 frames a second. Now, a lot of people haven't really rated this feature too heavily, but myself, I think it's pretty good. The main drawback on it is there's no audio input on the camera. So as much as you can sit there and use it as a video camera, it's only going to record sound in mono, and you can't actually really go for the full video camera look. But then I always sort of think, well, actually, if you really want to be using a video camera, you should probably use a video camera. As cameras go, as digital SLRs go, it's probably the best video recording I've seen. I've been really, really impressed. And the reason, in fact, that you can't see it is because we're using it now to record. As I say, the sound's in mono, so I'm not so sure about how that's going to be. But on the camera itself, in playback, it actually comes out really nicely. Of course, the real thing about cameras is the two questions: was it a pleasure to use, and were your pictures good? Well, yes, it was a pleasure to use. I found the Nikon way of doing things really, really good, actually. It's all very obvious on the back of the camera. There's you get a lot of options, really not tucked away in the menus, quite at your fingertips, which is really good. And also, it's, just things about it. It is heavy. I think that's the one drawback about it. It's 720 grams, and that's without the lens. Once you've got the lens on it, it's a pretty heavy piece of kit. But aside that, it feels good in your hands. Even the shutter, simple things like that, it just feels nice when you take a shot, and it sounds good. It just has a good feel to it. As for the actual pictures themselves, well, I'm not a professional photographer by any means, but I was really quite impressed with what I managed to take. I don't know if we've got a few pictures you can look at here. I think the one major drawback, the one thing I really didn't like about this camera, was the LCD display itself. I found that it didn't show you the colours as they really came out on screen. It didn't quite give you the full saturation. I was taking shots and getting really, really frustrated that it wasn't capturing them as well as I thought it could. When I got back afterwards and I changed with all the settings on the camera, I realised I'd just washed the colours out when I didn't need to, or I just ramped it up when I didn't need to. So it was the inaccuracy of what you're actually recording that was a bit disappointing. But apart from that, I think it's a fantastic piece of kit. I'll find a price for you and stick it down there. We're thinking in the realms of about £800 with the kit lens as well, which is a 18 to 105mm lens, which isn't too bad either. And I'd say if you're in for a top camera, I think you're looking at something pretty good here with the Nikon.